Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Lead with Wellness webinar. I am Dr. Tania White, your host. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can get started. This Lead with Wellness workshop that I'm hosting is designed to reset, refocus, and help you reclaim your energy. So my hope is that at the completion of our time together today, that it does just that. It resets your mind, it refocuses you, and you're able to reclaim that lost energy. So from burnout to breakthrough, the leadership blueprint for organizational wellness. Again, thank you for joining me today for a transformative journey designed for education and corporate leaders who are ready to build more resilient teams. Again, my name is Dr. Tania White. Very, very, very nice to meet you. A little bit about me. I am a seasoned thought leader in organizational wellness, AI integration, and educational and corporate leadership. With over 3 decades in educational and corporate environment, that's over 30 years. I'm also the founder of Educator Well Health Incorporated and leadwithwellness.org. I have helped countless leaders transform their organizations from burnout cultures into thriving ecosystems. We don't just talk about wellness, we build systems that transform organizations. So I'm curious to know who's in the room, but before I do that, I just want you to know that this Lead with Wellness 2 day seminar is going to be filled with 2 live sessions, 60-minute daily deep dives with questions and answers, engaged directly with myself. Lead magnets. You'll receive a downloadable resource after each day, which includes the 5 pillars framework and the 90-day wellness plan. We'll have interactive live scenario based poll interactions that make learning immediately applicable. Replays of this particular webinar will be made available to you almost immediately after the webinar is over. So, for those of you that need to replay and go over the information that was introduced to you, you have that opportunity to do so. And then there's a special VIP upgrade available for those that would like to delve more into the work that I do. You'll receive exclusive discounts on future trainings and the Organizational Wellness Conference that will be held this summer from July 9th through 11th, 2026, here in Fort Worth, Texas. So, over these next 2 days, uh, it'll be days filled with transformation. So, on the first day, it'll be the foundational authority and practical leadership tools, which include the hidden cost of burnout and how leaders respond to stress in real time. On day 2, which is tomorrow, it will be filled with innovation plus future focus and implementation, AI and wellness, building a thriving organization. And again, replays will be included for all that have registered and are participating. So, before we get started into anything, this is a wellness seminar. So, I want us to center ourselves so we can prepare our minds and our bodies to receive what it is that will be presented for us today. So, I would like to take a moment for us to just breathe for 30 seconds. And we'll do that by inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and then exhaling for 4 seconds. And we'll do that 2 to 3 times. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. You could be sitting upright, or you could be laying down, or wherever you are. Even if you're driving in your car, you can still do this as well. So we'll take one deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold it, and then exhale. So take a deep breath in, hold it, and then exhale for 4 seconds. We'll do that again. Let's inhale, hold, and then exhale. Let's do that one more time. Each time you do it, notice your body relaxing and your mind opening. Inhale for 4, hold it, and then exhale. Thank you for participating. Taking a moment to just breathe is very, very pertinent to clearing your mind and making sure that you are ready for the information you're about to receive. So, what is the hidden cost of burnout and how leaders respond to stress in real time? That's a very important element to explore because most organizations are addressing symptoms, not systems. Leaders must recognize stress behaviors, not just performance issues. So, we're going to go through a few scenarios today. And as I said before, you will receive the 5 pillars of organizational wellness at the end of this particular series. But we're going to go through some scenarios. And my question to you would be, how would you respond in this situation? The key takeaway from all of this will be that most workplace conflict is not caused by bad people. It's caused by unmanaged stress, unclear communication, and unintentional leadership behaviors. Well, Dr. White, what do you mean by that? Well, let's go through some scenarios and see if you can either identify with this, have experienced this, or you're currently doing it. So let's see. How leaders unintentionally escalate situations. So, we're going to take a moment to complete the question poll before each scenario. So, I am going to put a question poll in the chat. Okay. And we're going to go through each scenario. So, the first scenario is this is called the quick correction. So, the situation is a leader corrects an employee during a team meeting. And he says, that's not accurate. You should have checked the data before presenting. The leader's intention was to clarify information quickly and maintain accuracy. Do you agree with this response from the leader? So take a moment, think about that situation, and let me know if you agree, if you disagree, or if you just don't know. Give you a moment to answer. Ooh, okay. See some of those answers. Okay, surprising. Majority of individuals agree. Well, let's talk about this scenario. So this scenario is called the quick correction that feels like public criticism. So again, the situation was the leader corrects an employee during a team meeting. That's not accurate. You should have checked the data before presenting. The leader intended to just clarify information quickly and maintain accuracy. However, what actually happened was that the employee feels embarrassed and defensive. It reduced the trust that the employee had of being able to share within the room, and then others become less willing to speak up. So, this is one example of how the leader escalates a situation because public correction triggers threat response, that fight or flight response, and damages psychological safety. So, what should have happened, the de escalation shift should have been redirect privately. Hey, let's visit the data together after the meeting. Or in a moment, let's pause and double check that's a good discussion point. So you're validating that there was a contribution made, but you're not openly um, negating the fact that someone presented something that was inaccurate. All right, very good, very good. Okay, let's look at another question, another scenario. And as we go through these scenarios, I want you to be thinking about your particular environment and how you lead or how you're being led, because all of this is a part of building a positive culture and organizational wellness. So, the next question, let me go ahead and put the poll up. All right, the scenario is being urgent. The situation is the leader repeatedly says, "This is urgent. I need it ASAP." The leader's intent is to drive productivity to meet deadlines. Do you agree with how the leader is communicating? Either you agree, disagree, or you're not sure. Give you a moment. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like many of you agree. So let's take a look at this scenario. The urgency pressure overload. So again, the leader repeatedly says, "This is urgent. I need it ASAP." The intent was to drive productivity and meet deadlines. What actually happened was that the staff feel overwhelmed and undervalued, stress increases, mistakes increase, and resentment builds over time. So, why does it escalate? Well, constant urgency creates chronic stress environment, triggering burnout behaviors. The de escalation shift would be in this situation prioritize clearly. This is the top priority. What can we move off the plate? So it's providing a sense of balance, it's giving your employee something to prioritize opposed to just saying, "Hey, hey, hey, I need it. It's urgent, ASAP." So, little de escalation tactics like this will really help minimize the stress level that your employees may be experiencing. Okay, how are we doing out there? Great, great. All right, let's go to the next one. Scenario 3. Let me go ahead and put that poll in. All right, scenario 3, the feedback moment. An employee raises a concern. "I think the new process is creating confusion." The leader responds, "This is the direction we're going. We need to move forward." The leader's intent is to maintain momentum and avoid delays. Do you agree with this response from the leader? Go ahead and answer the poll now. Okay, it's about half and half this time. Let's look at that. In this scenario, this is known as the shutting down feedback moment, where an employee raises a concern. "I think a new process is creating confusion," but the leader shuts it down by saying, "This is the direction we're going. We need to move forward." Although the leader's intent was to maintain momentum and avoid delays, what actually happened was the employee began to feel dismissed. Innovation shuts down when this happens, and you begin to get passive resistance. increasing over time, not just with that employee, but with others. So, why does it escalate? People disengage when they feel unheard, leads to silent resistance or withdrawal. So, when you're thinking about your environment, what is causing, if anything, for employees to begin to disengage? How are you responding when ideas are or concerns are being brought to you? A de-escalation shift would be acknowledge them first. Tell me more about what's not working. Then align. Let's refine it while moving forward. So you're giving them an opportunity to explain why they feel it's not working, and then you're telling them that you're going to move forward with them. So it's not just shutting them down and saying my way or the highway. You're giving them an opportunity to explain to you what it is they feel is not working, and you're going to provide an opportunity. Y'all are doing so great. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 4. I have 5 scenarios in all, just so you know. All right. Scenario 4, the authoritative response. Situation. Leader says, I've been doing this for years. I know it works. What the leader intended was to establish credibility and confidence. So, do you agree with how the leader is communicating? Okay. All right. I take it those that answered agree. You've been doing it for years. All right. Again, the situation in this particular scenario, this is called the over explaining authority response. It's kind of like being in the home, and as the parent, uh, kids do it because I say you do it, not necessarily because it's always the right thing to do. But the leader says, I've been doing this for years. I know it works. What the leader intends is to establish credibility and confidence. But what actually happens, team feels undervalued, creates hierarchy tension, and then discourages collaboration. Why? Well, because the leader's been doing it for years. So why does this escalate? Authority-based responses can feel dismissive, triggers ego defense in others. So, again, think about your environment, think about your responses to some of the situations that you actually experience, and realize that authority based responses can feel dismissive. So, de escalation shift, replace authority with collaboration. Here's what I've been working with. What are your thoughts? So again, you're soliciting the ideas and opinions of others and not just being dismissive because you've been doing it for years. All right. Last scenario, the reaction. The situation is the employee shares a challenge. Leader immediately responds, here's what you need to do. Be helpful. The leader's intent was to be helpful and efficient. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with the leader's response to be helpful and efficient? Okay. Well, I'm looking at some of these answers. Thank you all for participating. All right. All right. All right. So, scenario 5 is known as the fix it too fast reaction. So, yes, the situation is employee shares a challenge. Leader immediately responds, here's what you need to do. What the leader intended was to be helpful and efficient. However, what actually happened was the employee feels unheard. Problems may not be fully understood, and emotional need is ignored. Why does this escalate? Well, leaders skip the listening phase, moving straight to the solution mode. We talk about this a lot in education. We try to teach teachers not to always be so quick to give students an answer. Students need to have that productive struggle. They need to be able to work through various situations so they can better understand how to tackle it if they see it again. So when you're too fast to fix it, then a lot of times they don't get the opportunity to learn within that environment. And again, it does begin to impact them emotionally, and it starts to impact the overall culture. So, this fix it too fast is seen in a multitude of scenarios. So, just make sure that you're cognizant not to be the one to always jump to be ready to fix it. So, de escalation shift, pause and explore. Why do you think what do you think is the root of the issue? And how can I support you? It's very important that individuals know that you're there to support them. Awesome. So, key patterns across all scenarios that I want you to pay attention to. Escalation typically happens when leaders unintentionally, keep in mind, unintentionally is the key word. A lot of individuals do not mean to devalue the employees that they work with or their coworkers. So it's important to make you aware within these scenarios so adjustments can be made. But leaders can unintentionally assume intent instead of seeking clarity. Leaders can unintentionally prioritize tasks over people. Leaders can unintentionally respond instead of regulating. Leaders can unintentionally communicate without context or empathy. Leaders can unintentionally move too fast without listening. So, the leadership reset formula, simple yet powerful. Before responding, leaders should pause and ask, what might this person be experiencing right now? Am I reacting or responding? And what outcome do I want from this interaction? And the reason why this is so important, not only for your organizational wellness, but for you as well, these are principles that can also be carried into your personal life as well. Just to take a moment to pause and ask these questions can really help the relationships that you're in. So, the five pillars of organizational wellness, which is the document that I will share with you once this webinar is over, is a complete framework for diagnosing and addressing burnout at every level of your organization, from individual leaders to system wide culture. Leadership, well being, and self regulation is number one. So, the emotional intelligence, stress awareness, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and burnout prevention at the leadership level is top priority when it comes to organizational wellness. An organization is only as well as its lead. Think about the body. If your head is not right, your mind is not right, it's only a matter of time before everything else begins to follow. So it's important to keep the mind right and to be cognizant of how you interact with your team, with your coworkers, with your subordinates, uh, because it's important that you acknowledge who they are and that they have a level of emotional intelligence as well that you must consider. Number two, culture and psychological safety. Building trust driven environments where people feel safe, valued, and heard, not just complaint. People need to feel safe wherever they are. I need to know that if I share something with you or if I'm having some difficulty, that I will not be penalized for that difficulty. So, as a leader, it's important for you to build that trust and ensure that uh, you're able to create that environment where people feel safe, valued, and heard. Three, systems, workload, and operational wellness. This includes burnout is often a system issue, not a people problem. Learn to reduce friction through smart systems and design. For instance, I work in a school setting and I'm all about systems, efficient systems. Something as simplistic as creating a system for our substitutes when they come into the building. So, one of our systems is we've created a substitute binder that has all of the information that a substitute may need, all of the bell schedules that we may use. I think we have like 6 or 7 different bell schedules. So, we have them all laminated in the folder. Of course, the no cell phone policy, emergency numbers, contact information, school calendar, welcome letter with all of our information on it, and a school map. So each substitute each day will sign out one of those folders so they can bring it back, but it allows them to um, know the building and have information about what our expectation is and our protocols. Too many times, leaders may assume just because you've been hired as a substitute that you will fall in with what we do. But if you don't put a system in place, um, that can create stress for the substitute, thus creating stress within the classroom, and your students will be able to. Will not be as productive as they could be. So, systems, workload, and operational wellness is key in any organization. Health, resilience, and human sustainability. Physical, mental, and emotional health integration, energy management over time management. I hear all the time how individuals are running low on energy. Um, well, you have to have a balance. The simple technique that we did at the very beginning of the webinar was just to take a moment to breathe. That can be done throughout the day just to center yourself, to regain mental clarity, to allow your body to have a brief rest and not just be continuously on the grind. And it also impacts your emotional health as well. As a leader, it's going to be very important that you take control of the small things that you can do to elevate your mental stamina and clarity. So, health, resilience, and human sustainability is very important. And then, lastly, innovation, AI, and future ready wellness. We'll go over that more tomorrow. But AI is a workload reduction tool. AI has been designed and should be embraced to make us more efficient, to reduce our workload and our stress. Strategic innovation without being overwhelmed, balancing technology with human connection. So, again, I will be sending that out to you. I would like for you to take a moment to complete the survey of day one. This will be sent out to you via email. Um, and your feedback is greatly appreciated. The whole purpose was to provide you with some tools that you could possibly need. Uh, Even though we're not at the full hour, I wanted to allot the hour just in case we needed it, but we're not tied to that. So please take the survey for day one. Uh, Also, I wanted to let you know about the Organizational Wellness Conference that will be this summer here in Fort Worth, Texas. You can scan that QR code or use the link that's below to register for the conference. You can look and see what will be there. The whole purpose of the conference is to bring community organizations, businesses, and pair them with uh, corporations and schools and healthcare providers to help them develop and implement stress management programs. And then also there will be some time for actual wellness activities during the conferences as well. Meals will be provided, but it will be a time to refresh and reflect in the summertime. So that will be at the Radisson Fort Worth. So please go to www.educatorwellhealth.com/conferences to get more information. Thank you so much for joining me for day one of the Reset, Refocus, Reclaim Your Energy Lead with Wellness series, and I look forward to us working together on tomorrow. So at this time, I'll stop sharing. And again, thank you for joining me. I am Dr. Tania White, and I'm excited for what the future holds for us all.